Good Lord. Seems like every time I get ready to do something, David Snyder posts something and I've got to stop what I'm doing in order to see what he's done because I'm just that guy. Hey, Irvin with an I here from the website How I Type the Thing. I hope everybody's doing well. I wanted to post a video. I don't know how long or how short it's going to be in response to a YouTuber's analysis of a new app that released in the last couple of weeks called V2. Now, V2 is an app which allows you to film 6-second long videos, much like what classic Vine was before Twitter shut it down. Now, I felt like that as a content creator, I had a little bit of a responsibility to talk about this because I've got some skin in the game. V2 was what ultimately sparked me wanting to do some more content creation. And it had kind of stymied a little bit after classic Vine associated with Twitter stopped. Because that was my primary place where I liked to post content, was Vine. It was easy to be able to get your message out, and it had a loyal following. And it was quite a good interface, but, you know, stuff happens. Not going to go into the blame game. I have my opinions on why it was or was not shut down. It doesn't matter. It's gone. But there are other groups that are trying. There are other video apps out there that are trying to kind of pick up where Vine left off. Before I get started, I want to say that whatever I've observed with V2 thus far does not mean that I am going to dump it anytime soon. I'm going to give it a chance because I want this to be successful. Ultimately, it brought me out of the shadows as a content creator and got me going again and got me interested again. Like I went and read up licenses for my video editing software and so forth, just so that I can go out and start doing some of this stuff again. Special thanks for two different content creators who are friends of mine who have been hanging out of the V2 app with me. Poop Frogg and IAmDavidSnyder. Their channels are located in the description here. Go check them out. They are awesome at what they do, and I think you're going to be really impressed with what they have coming out here pretty soon. I'll say that I didn't really have it in my really didn't have an idea that I was going to do a response video or an analysis video about V2 until one of V2's content creators, MrEpicDB, started posting to the app. And apparently has been doing so for about 9 months, even before they launched on the Apple Store. I didn't know MrEpicDB before now. Before I downloaded V2. He's quite a good content creator, and he's got a lot of interesting things to say and a lot of interesting points of view. And plus, frankly, if I was a skater a tenth as good as he is, I wouldn't be a network engineer. I'd be doing what he does. His channel's in the description too. Good stuff. One of the things that's been coming up is that people are bashing the app because it's not Don Hoffman's app. Well, frankly, I didn't know who Don Hoffman was before I started reading comments about the app inside of the app. I didn't even really know he had been affiliated with Classic Vine or that he was trying to develop another version of Vine until I heard about it in MrEpicDB's video of October 11. So I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm not here to bash MrEpicDB for his opinions. He's cheerleading them. He's leading on the cheer. I'm not here to bash Don Hoffman. Don't know who he is. I don't have to know who's in charge at V2 to know that nobody has taken charge. Right now, you got nothing but a shell of a program. It literally is just allowing you to post 6-second or less videos, much like Vine. You can comment on them, much like in any other video posting app, whether it be YouTube or Instagram or what have you. You can leave comments under the video. There's a trending page, which I'll talk more about later. There's a page that lists that shows the content of all the people who you are following. And that's really it. There's not any account control. You can block and report people and block and report videos, more on that as well. But you can't adjust your account, you can't adjust your screen name. About the only thing you can do with your account is delete it, which is kind of sad. Because the very first thing that I noticed right off when I started in the app is that it asked me to pick a screen name, which I did. I picked Irvin with an I, like I do for everything else that I do on the internet. So at another place in the registration process, it asked me to put in my first name and last name, which I did. And now that is the screen name I have wound up with, is my first and last name, Eli Irvin, which is frustrating because my brand is Irvin with an I and not Eli Irvin. So what gives, V2? Why would you not allow for account modification out of the gate? Which brings me to my next point, where MrEpicDB had said that this was more like a soft launch for the application, that it wasn't an actual launch. Well, I'm here to tell you, Apple sees it as an actual launch, and the reason why I say that they see it as an actual launch is because it's on the App Store. It's in the Apple Store. It's a real launch. Even with the app in the state that it's in, V2 didn't have any business doing a soft launch or a hard launch or a free launch or a rocket launch or a pumpkin launch or any kind of launch for that matter, because it was not ready for production. It just wasn't ready. One of the things that appears to have been missed before they rolled this out was doing what's called user acceptance testing, UAT for short. UAT has been around since the earliest days of screen-based computing. And for those of you who don't know what UAT is or have never heard of it before, it's a type of testing that's done by clients, you, me, Poop Frogg, IAmDavidSnyder, MrEpicDB, subscribers. It's testing that's done by subscribers to certify the system with respect to requirements set forth in the project. This testing happens generally before a live beta and definitely before moving the software to market. So what is this? There are so many complaints about missing functionality from rank and file users that I cannot believe that they did not. I can't believe that they did a UAT using former Viners to see what's missing in the app. Now, there are quite a few things that V2 has acknowledged are missing from the app. Things like reposting and clickable hashtags, things of that nature. And they have admitted that the trending page is pretty dorked up. It doesn't work well. The things that I want to talk about are things that they have not acknowledged, that V2 have not acknowledged yet. And one of the very first glaring things is standards and practices. Now, I know what a lot of you are saying when I say standards and practices. I know that y'all are saying, why would you want anybody to censor content? Well, frankly, we have to have standards and practices. Because if you don't have standards and practices, then you end up with videos like pus-filled boils exploding on camera, somebody getting their hand stuck into an industrial metal shredder, or Logan Paul walking through a suicide forest in Japan. I would say that when I first started, I was shocked to find on the trending page a video glorifying suicide. So I immediately blocked the person before I reported them, but blocking the person that posted this video did not remove them from the trending page. I know that they acknowledge that the trending page is still fairly dorked up, but this is a fairly major oversight. If I block somebody in the app, I don't want to see their content anywhere. I don't want to see it in my feed. I don't want to see it on my friends' accounts. I don't want to see it reposted. I don't want to see it in trending. I don't want to see it. And the fact that V2 allows these types of videos to remain on the platform gives me some pause too. I mean, after a while, even if you report the videos, YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, they will generally review the content and take action and reply to you as soon as they review it. And they'll reply to you either stating that they took it down or that the content doesn't meet the standard by which they would remove a video. Well, I can tell you that these videos that are out there do meet YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter and Instagram's standards for removal. But V2 hasn't responded. This is what runs off content creators. Nobody wants to have their content associated with platforms that allow this going on. This is why you don't see content creators who use Tumblr as their primary platform. So yeah, V2, put in some standards and practices, would you? It's really just terrible form for you to allow these other types of videos to remain out there, especially in this day and age. One of the other things that I noticed fairly early on when I started posting content to V2 is that you have two choices for posting to the app itself. Is you can either use their app, which is the press and hold the screen while you record type deal like Vine Classic used to be, or you can upload videos. They give you an option to pull from your camera roll. One of the things that I noticed, since a few of my videos out there are from my camera roll, is that it doesn't matter if you edit this thing within an inch of its life. If you upload from the cloud, you're going to wind up with a black preview section before the actual video. And it shows up on your feed page exactly like this. It doesn't give a preview image, it's just that fade in from black kind of placeholder deal. You don't see a picture of what's going on the feed page unless you use their filming app. You would not believe how frustrating this was for me to figure this out. I must have spent 2 hours on 6 seconds in Wondershare Filmora and in the app itself to kind of trim it and crop it and do all kinds of other crap with it to see if I could get rid of just that little bit of black at the beginning. But it still didn't work. So now I've got a bunch of videos on my feed page which have black previews. Well, that's not very inviting, is it? Now, again, V2 acknowledges a great many of these, the things like the trending page being a problem and the non-clickable hashtags and the repost feature being absent. And they said as much in an in-app announcement, but they haven't posted much of anything to the description in the App Store or the description of the revisions of the app. They've released 2 versions so far. The second version that they released only says bug fixes. That's all it says. Doesn't say anything else. Well, what are you doing? If this was a soft launch, you would think that you would want to report on what it is you're doing and what it is you are observing so that you can invite dialogue. Right now, they aren't inviting any dialogue. They aren't posting any videos about what's going on. I don't know who the leadership is. But again, like I said at the top of this video, I don't have to know who is in charge to know that no one has taken charge. Now, all this said, I get that it's a young program. I get that it's new. I get that people are trying to fill a void that was left when a corporate megalomaniac decided to shut something down simply because it wasn't making them money on the bottom line. But, you know, don't put out something that's half finished that people are looking forward to and want to depend on. Get your stuff right the first time before you put something out like this. And more than that, keep your user base informed. An in-app announcement to let you know what's being worked on in less than a full sentence? Come on, V2, get it together. Get your crap together, get your ducks in a row. Put somebody in charge, make somebody take charge of what's going on, do the user acceptance testing, and start communicating with your subscriber base. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you found it informative and a beginning of the discussion that we can continue having about V2. If you did, like and subscribe down below, and also check out the pages of MrEpicDB and Poop Frogg and IAmDavidSnyder in the description below. And as my fellow nerd fighters say, don't forget to be awesome.